TeachMeGrappling.com here with the Barata-plata, made famous by Rafael Freitas, also known as Barata. So I'm in the closed guard here on the bottom. I'm going to attack a triangle. I stuff the wrist inside. There's a common defense for the top guy, especially if there's a little gap. He wants to bring his outside hand inside and then lock a gable grip. He'll use that to apply some pressure on your groin or your inner thigh by pushing and posturing up. It's a way to escape your triangle. So I'd like to keep his head down, but he's going to try and put pressure. I'm going to control his wrist and then shove my left hand through from the outside through that loop. And then in the past, we'd always attack a bicep slicer. I'd push his wrist inside, swing my right leg over his head. But nowadays, we can attack the new Barata-plata. This has actually been around for a few years now, but I'm now just discovering. It's an awesome shoulder lock. I'm going to grab tight on my thigh. Left foot is going to go in the hip. And then what I want to do is I want to keep his wrist trapped. So his wrist is actually caught between my legs, right in your groin. And my right leg is going to be wrapped very tightly doing a leg curl. Left hand's tight on my thigh. Left foot is in the hip. And then my right hand is going to go under the arm. It could also scoop under the leg, either or. You just need to get a grip so that you can make your angle. And then what my hip is going to do is my hip's going to move out to the left. I'm going to use my left foot on the hip to push to facilitate that and make a hip escape out towards the left. Head will go to the right. So my left hand's nice and tight on the thigh. Right hand scoops for the armpit. Left foot's going to push off the hip. Right leg clamps and hips go to the left. And you get an awesome shoulder lock. You get a tap. So again, I want to use this left arm like a crowbar and pry his elbow just like that, which creates just a very tight shoulder lock. You guys all have to get in this position and feel it to appreciate it. Again, I don't want to give him any kind of space where he can pull his wrist out. So that's mostly due to your right leg not clamping. You can also facilitate it with your right hand holding his triceps, but I don't think I demonstrate here. So my right hand's going to scoop under, and then my hips are going to go out to the left and create that tap. If you guys have ever done the shoulder stretch, this is exactly what it feels like. You place your wrist on your hip, and then you can pull your elbow forward, and then you'll feel the stretch of the shoulder, which is exactly what this lock feels like. So I'm going to stuff the triangle, grab onto that wrist while he's trying to posture, shove my left hand through, stuff his wrist inside between my legs. Right leg passes over the head. Clamp my right leg very tightly. Left foot in the hip, right hand scoops, and then I thrust my hip out to the left and get the submission. So it's a really awesome shoulder lock. It's a move you can hit from many positions. So here's a common situation. Opponent's kind of on his side. Maybe I have knee on belly. A lot of times here, guys all I have to do is get my hand through. A lot of times guys are going for darces, which is also a great move, but it's almost much easier just to get your left hand inside, step the right leg, pass it over, grab your thigh. And if the opponent gets up, I want to take my left foot and step it right on the hip. As he tries to get up on top, he can't escape his right arm, and he falls right in the trap. So if the opponent stays there, you can always finish on top. So here's what that would look like. I'd step over the head, swing my left leg over, and then I'm going to move my hip towards the left. You notice I'm rotating in a circle. My right arm's going to get an underhook. That way the opponent doesn't turn in a circle with you, which would relieve the pressure that you're trying to apply. So I want to drop my butt down towards his right hip, and that's going to get the tap at the same time I'm crowbarring with my left arm as my hip drops, just like that. So again, his wrist is stuck inside. He can't pull it out, and you get that sub. So again, from the mount, there's so many scenarios where you can pull this move off. Rafael, I've seen him pull it off just from everywhere, and I myself have been getting really good at throwing it on. This time from the mount, the opponent's defending by keeping his elbows in. Again, it's just as simple as slipping that left arm in, grabbing your thigh, keeping his wrist trapped in the crotch. If the opponent ever tries to get on top, and you just finish from the bottom. I'm going to show you some regular speed examples now. Again, here from the closed guard, attacking the triangle situation. Opponent brings his hand inside, stuff your left hand in, bring it over, cut the angle right away. Try to get that foot on the hip as soon as you can. So triangle attack, opponent postures. It's going to make it a lot easier to get your right leg to pass over in front of his head. Here's a different triangle situation, overhook triangle, hip escape out to the side, feet on the hips, shoot the leg through, opponent brings it inside, catch him in the Barata-plata, over to knee on belly. All you got to do is control that wrist and step over the head. Comes on real quick. So control the wrist, left arm goes through, grab your thigh, hips down. If he comes on top, foot in the hip, cut the angle. Knee on belly one more time. Again, so easy. I find this move one of the most advanced but easiest moves I've learned. Again, from the mount. Simple. Opponent's keeping his elbows in. It becomes his problem. So if you have an opponent that's really playing good defense with his elbows in, there's a great attack to kind of throw at him. Start throwing him off of his game. Again, it's that easy. Just throw the leg over. Almost looks like the opponent can just slip right out, but I assure you, as long as you learn to keep it tight, you won't get out. Here's an armbar situation. I've been practicing this variation. It's a very shallow variation where I'm grabbing my shin instead of my thigh. It's harder to put the pressure, but it can still work. I've still pulled it off many times. Sometimes the opponent's wrist pulls out. It depends on the size of his body. Again, I switch like I'm going to do a bicep slicer. And then notice how I pummel my left hand from underneath. And it goes towards my shin. Hip escape, control his leg. It's hard for the opponent to sit up. Here's another variation that I kind of came up with when the opponent uses the rear naked choke style defense. I'm just going to hop over to the other side. He put his hand underneath my knee. That kind of traps his arm. And again, catch him in the variation. Again, this variation isn't as proven as the other ones. Again, you can try it out yourself, see if it works for you. It's been working for me, but again, it's also on a limited number of opponents. Some opponents with really small arms that are squirmy, they tend to slip out on this one. But to each its own. So over here from the turtle, again, this is one of my favorites. I come out to the front and it just gets thrown in. Opponent never sees it coming. So this is one of my favorites right here. Again, watch how my left arm comes in. I hop over the head. Looks kind of similar to a Peruvian necktie attack. And again, I'm going to show that variation now. Simple Peruvian necktie. Nope. Going for the Barata-plata instead. So great setup. You could use it on a failed one. Hop over the head and then just sit down and take the Barata-plata. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.